Hi, my name's Lindy. Welcome to my channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk and my email is info@lindycowling.co.uk. The email address is for media inquiries and for the booking of Skype sessions with me. So I hope you are well now that we have entered February 2020, and the title of this video today is how the new grid affects masculine energy. How the new grid affects masculine energy. Now I'm smiling because the title will roughly be called that because this is spontaneous, live, channeled straight through and from the heart. I don't pre-plan it, so I may alter the title a little bit by the time it goes out on YouTube, but basically around how masculine energy is affected by the new grid. So firstly, let me explain what the new grid is. For those of you that have been with me on this channel for the last 6 years, you will understand and know the way that I work, and that this is a channel all about evolution, coming into the heart, coming into the true being you are, all around your expansion of consciousness, around connecting with people that help that expansion of consciousness, around that very amazing journey that we are on. So basically the new grid basically is a state of consciousness that humanity have shifted into really since we came to the closing points of 2019 into now 2020. So it is a switchover in consciousness from one state of reactionary grid, reactionary linear programmable grid, to a non-linear creationary grid of consciousness, which is all happening internally inside people, but also connects massively, I'm going to say externally as a way of explaining it, to the consciousness of the earth. And since we hit 2020, the earth now wholly supports, as do we the earth, the multidimensional quantum creationary grid, which is now online with the earth and online in us. So that physical, I'm going to call it physical, and I'm going to keep using the word physical over and over and over again, because we are now in the times where this is being made physical. It's no longer woo-woo, it's no longer abstract, it's no longer in the etheric, it's no longer out there somewhere, it's physical, it's here, it's tangible, it's viewable, and it's instant consequences, instant karma, instant change, instant creation. It's all pretty much in the moment. So that creationary grid that we've been working towards for many years, really since the 1990s, is now at last online. So it's switched on within people that are at a point to start to access that grid, and there are many points to it. It's a now moment, present, as I say, quantum, multidimensional, physical grid of consciousness that the earth supports, and that grid supports the earth. So it's in tandem and unification with the earth. because that is online and it is an action-based physical energy that we are now in as the physical embodiment in the embodiment, it is a grid that really is quite advantageous to the masculine energy. Now, that is not just masculine as in male energy per se, as in a man, as in a boy, but it is also the masculine energy within each and every one of us. As I am sure you know, we are a mixture of masculine and feminine energy. So it is the masculine within us that is very much action-based, solution-driven, objective-driven, physical, tangible. But it is also the male, as in boy, as in man, expression of energy. So it's the masculine within us all. The masculine representation of us within us all is being helped, if you like, by the embodiment of this grid now, because it's action-based, physical. It aligns with the way the average masculine energy is wired, shall we say. And it's also hugely advantageous to actual males and actual boys and actual men. So what this means is it is a physical energy embodiment. We have reached the point where all the years, the many, many, many years of expansion of consciousness, of preparing the way for this, have reached a point where it is now becoming manifest. It is here. And like my last video suggested, crucial years between 2020 and 2024, where we will see what has been made manifest up close and personal, right up in our faces, in our personal relationships, in our personal lives, in our careers, in our life choices, in our lifestyles. We will also see it across the whole political spectrum, royal spectrum, every kind of institution you can imagine, those that you know of and those that you don't know of, are all coming under the magnifying glass, because we are now in an intensely physically frequency specific time, which means things that don't hold the frequency of that which the earth supports and of the frequency specific creationary quantum multidimensional grid that is now here and online, shall we say, within us, is going to have to transform, alchemize, or fall away. So when I say fall away, that means really take another path or transform in a non-body way, meaning transforming by leaving one's body. Now, because we are in a time of embodiment, in the body meant, the opportunity is there en masse for people to, let's say, take the higher ground in their own consciousness and remain in the body. That's what the whole point of it is, really, to ascend within the body. Having said that, just like I stated on the previous video, there will be souls and spirit that decided long before we reached this stage that they were not going to go through an ascension process and remain in the physical body. That's just how it is. It is available for everyone, but not everyone chooses that path in this lifetime. And you may have noticed that by the amount of souls that have left the earth plane, and we will see a lot more of that over the next so many years, and also the amount of animals also en masse that have left the earth plane as these shifts were building up and then have now taken place and are still unfolding. So within us all, like I say, we have this masculine and feminine energy, and also, let's say externally, the masculine energy as represented as a male, if you like. So the grid that is now online, because it is very action based, it's physical, again, physical, it's action based, it's instant results, like I say, instant falling away, instant karma, instant change, you know, big shocks, that word I'm going to keep using a lot. Because it is that kind of energy, it really supports, let's say, the mindset of masculine energy. It really supports the kind of pulling up one's braces and getting on with it. It supports masculine energy because it is about acting upon and about seeing physical, tangible consequences, responsibilities of that, and physical results of that. So this actually helps significantly all of us, and it really does help all of us because of the masculine within us, but it also helps the male per se, male energy per se, the man, the boy, because of the way that energy is now here in this form. So at last, it's almost like masculine energy gets that breakthrough at last. And we are now at a point, because it is at the embodiment stage in the body meant, and it is becoming, it's not even just becoming integrated, it is here, it's physical, it's real. That will support that aspect of our consciousness, the masculine aspect, and the male, the man, the boy, hugely, because it is in alignment, if you like, and the masculine energy is in alignment with how this grid runs. So, of course, the feminine is entirely in alignment with it as well, and has been really, in many ways, leading the way on this ascension process for many years, but not any longer. The masculine energy has now caught up, and this grid of consciousness that is now online, active, is supportive of that masculine expression of consciousness, is supportive of it, which means that that's going to help masculine energy to be the embodiment of who they truly are hugely. It's a huge breakthrough in terms of that. So it's also important for me to say that this has been coming for a very long time, and we have kind of hinted at this in the way that we've explained it, and I've been explaining it as a breakthrough in consciousness that would be like a big bang, a mini big bang, that it would all rush together, which it has. All timelines and realities have converged into this creationary now grid. Rush together, there would be a breakthrough in consciousness, and then it would, everything would change. And in that sense, it has. So those changes, when they show up again, can be quite, I'm going to use the word again, physical and quite shocking, because they are very big, sudden changes. Sudden, wonderful, sudden, amazing, sudden, devastating, sudden, shocking, sudden change, lovely, sudden change, not feeling quite so lovely. All of the non-frequency specific or old energy patterns or old loops now 100% the opportunity to fall away, because actually they cannot survive those loops or patterns in the grid that you are now gifted with becoming the embodiment of. It can't. There's no halfway measure here. The earth can't support it. We can't support the earth with it, and we cannot bring it into the state of consciousness that we're becoming. So all of that is coming up instantly, dramatically, shockingly, lots of endings, lots of beginnings, lots of change, and lots more change to come. So it was inevitable. It's always in the end going to show up in our physical lives. It cannot always remain out there or up there somewhere. In the end, it was always about what was going on internally inside of us and inside our metaphysical heart, and becoming the embodiment of it, ascending within the human body. So it is an extraordinary time. And like I say, we've got so much more to come. So you may well see, if you are aware of any of this stuff and aware of the energy within yourselves, how you express that energy, the inner masculine and feminine energy, you may well be aware that you will be thinking, maybe feeling slightly different, the change of perception, shifts there, because the masculine part of your energy, action-based, physical, more physical-based, wants to physically create and physically move through change much more than perhaps ever before. You will also see, if you are involved in a connection that expresses the masculine energy, a male, a boy, or a connection that expresses mainly masculine energy, that also that there are changes there, because there are shifts in that they want to push through. Again, they want to step forward. They want to voice. Excuse me. They want to voice. They want to express. They want to talk about. They want to shift. They want to change. There is much more of the actual boots on the ground, physical energy now here. And of course, we're just at the beginning of it. We're just at the beginning of it because it was building up for such a long time. And really, really the back end of 2019, it was kicking in. But by 2020, extraordinary difference in it. So we're just at the beginning. And I totally predict right up to 2024 now, it will be the next 4 years that we're getting used to driving our vehicles and our energy in a very different way. When I say our vehicles, I mean our Merkaba, the vehicle of the soul that we as essence or spirit are working through as human beings. Being in that grid, that creation grid. But it's also human doings, because we are now in the time where it's very action-based. It's being expressed physically. The earth is going to be expressing it physically. Physical changes, physical shifts. And again, physical shifts in society, physical consequences, shocks, physical change, transformation. This is much more now, let's say, in a much more unified, because it's a unified grid. It's now unified. It's a unified grid. It's not out of balance. So everything that's not in balance cannot become the embodiment of that grid. So if it's out of whack in us, we can't embody that grid. Out of whack around us cannot embody that grid. So it's in perfect balance, it's in unification, and it is an in the body embodiment of that physical, creationary, multidimensional quantum grid that is now here, that is now real, that is now acting upon, stepping forward in, and we're going to get used to kind of, let's say, flexing our wings, stretching our wings, getting used to driving, being, doing in and as our energy in these times that we're now in. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you, because I'm going to go straight on to recording another video for this YouTube channel, and then straight on to recording another one for my dear patrons. So I will see you again soon. Take care, loads of love, and hope February is going well for you so far. Bye.